Hey there, everybody. Good morning, good evening, wherever you're at. I am back with another tutorial. As always, I have been extremely busy working on a variety of projects, but of course I do want to try and deliver tutorials from time to time. A lot has changed in Flutterflow since the last tutorial that I did. They continue to make updates, whether good or bad, they are making updates. So things keep changing a little bit here and there. So I could probably do some tutorials going over those changes and kind of giving you some instructions on how to work with some of the new features, which maybe I'll do that at some point. But for this particular tutorial that I'm going to be doing here, I'm actually going to be going over something that I had mentioned quite a while ago and just never got around to doing, but we're going to cover it now, and that is a chat app. Center focus will be on the chatting aspect of things, so that's what we'll mainly be looking at. This particular design that I'll be going with will be kind of a mashup between Telegram and GroupMe. So you'll see some similarities there. We will go over, obviously, setting up the chat. We're not going to use Flutterflow's built-in chat. We're going to build one from scratch. Super easy to do, but it allows you more customization and control over how you design it. So we'll be doing that. We'll also be setting up folders for the chats so your users can categorize their chats if they want to. That's something in Telegram that I really like. It makes organization a lot easier. And we'll also be looking at conference calling, being able to set up video chat rooms as well as audio only chat rooms. So we'll be going over that. And then we'll also go over end-to-end one-to-one encrypted chats. Some of the functionality in this tutorial will be utilizing some of my custom written code as well as my custom written APIs, specifically as it relates to the encrypted chats, and also as it relates to like the video and audio chats that'll have a lot of custom related things in there. As far as the APIs go, I'll give you kind of an overview of how that works. I am using some self-managed servers to run the APIs, as well as a segregated backend through MongoDB for that particular aspect. We'll be using Firebase mainly for the database structure as well as the authentication for this app. But we'll be using CDN and external storage for videos and photo uploads. And then, of course, the encrypted and live related features will be run through some APIs that I've built. So again, I'll kind of go over a little bit on those APIs and how it relates to MongoDB and kind of how I set that up. But as far as the specific code related to both of those things, because that code is proprietary to my business, I won't be releasing it here. But it is a part of something that I'm working on a broader scale to make more complex and technical APIs accessible to app developers in Flutterflow, which obviously includes what I just mentioned, but it'll also include things such as FFmpeg, which is something that you can use for video editing, transcoding audio with video, and implementing filters and video effects and things like that. That's one of the APIs that I have. I also have a deep learning API that also uses MongoDB to curate recommendation data to users that can be used for video feeds or post feeds, marketing, any kind of content. Use it to recommend products, things like that. But we can touch more on that at another time. So for the time being, we just kind of want to look at how to build this chat app, and the basic features of it you can do within Flutterflow, so you at least have an idea of kind of how to set this up and make it work. All right, so getting started then. This is obviously assuming that you've already set up a project in Flutterflow, that you've already set up your project in Firebase, and you've connected the two together. If you don't know how to do that, I have other videos showing you how. Otherwise, you can check out Flutterflow's documentation. I'll show you how to do it as well. So, very first things then that I'm going to start off with for this tutorial is I'm actually going to jump over here to our collections. I've already got the basic user collections set up that Flutterflow automatically creates if you allow them to do that. And we'll probably fill out some additional details on here as we go along, but right now we're going to focus mainly on getting our folder collections set up, as well as our chat collections and then our chat messages collections. We will work with some sub collections as well. So let's go ahead. Something that I wish Flutterflow would implement, but there's no telling when they will, is second, third, fourth, and beyond level sub collections. So as of right now, we've got top level, and then we've got first sub level collections. You can't do a sub level within a sub level, so kind of limits exactly what we can do. So we kind of have to figure out what is the most efficient way to set this up. Ideally, I would like to have a top-level collection of folders, a sub-level of chats, and then a secondary sub-level of chat messages within chats, but that's not how we can do it here. So to be the most efficient, since it's more than likely that a chat collection will have far more chat messages associated with it rather than a folder with a numerous amount of chats associated to that, then it makes more sense to do a chat top level and chat messages as a sub level to chats, and then have a separate collection as folders and tie the two together. So let's go ahead and create a chats top level collection. And let's just put some fields in here. Do a date for creation. Do created by. I'll do that as a reference to a user. And do chat title, so it can have a name. And then let's do recent update. And put that as a date as well. Leave that as the way it is for now. Let's go ahead and do our chat messages sub-collection. To our chats here. We can do date. And created by. And then we'll do the message. And we will come back in here in a little bit because we're going to need a space for picture, video, things like that. But we'll leave that the way it is for now. All right, and then we want a folders collection. Okay. Oh, that reminds me, we need go back to chats real quick. We do want to put a members reference here, which would be a list of users. All right. And then we need to make an association to our chats. So we'll do chats reference. That does need to be a list. Okay. And let's go ahead and add a folder reference here as well. Which one? Could make that as a list if we wanted to allow the chats to be in multiple folders, which I don't think we'll do that for this. So we'll just have it so that each chat can belong to a single folder. All right. Okay, so let's jump back over here to our builder. All right, so you can see I have just blank screen, nothing in the scaffold. And I do have it black because that's the color scheme that I'm going to be going with. Let's see here, I'm going to jump over here real quick to colors and turn dark mode off. I'm just going to have it as black only. I'm not going to mess with any of that for right now. All right, so what I'm going to work on first then is setting up just the main screen, the screen that they see when they, after they get registered and logged in, be the primary screen that they come to. And again, this kind of a mashup between Telegram and GroupMe with a little bit of customization as well in place, kind of making it my own sort of thing here. So what I want to do first, let's see here, let's go ahead and turn that on so I can see. I want to make sure safe area is off. I don't want to use that. I guess I could if it's going to be all black. Yeah, I guess I could. So I'll turn that on so I don't have to make those adjustments manually. And I'm going to go ahead and drop a stack in here first. It'll be my very first thing that I'll do here. Yeah, leave that alone. Okay, once I have my stack in there, let's go ahead and put a column into the stack and we'll work there. So first thing, I'm going to go ahead and put a row up here at the top. Do that. And we'll bring our edges in. 16 and 16. We'll leave that, and just go ahead and duplicate it because we're going to need another one. And let's just pull it down some. By 16 from the top. That'll be good. All right, and then below that, we are going to put a page view widget. Drop that in there. Make sure that you don't have scrolling turned on for that column that we put in there. Otherwise, it will mess up your page view. All right, so I'm going to delete that picture, go over here to my widget tree, and then these other two page views here, we can go ahead and delete them because we're going to generate these page views dynamically. So we really only need one. And then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to turn the indicator off. I don't want to show that. We do want to allow swipe scrolling. Yeah, we do want to allow. Yeah, we may want to allow that. We'll leave that. We'll leave that off for now. We are going to do horizontal, swipe left to right. Okay. All right, that'll work. So what I'm about to do then is I'm going to essentially be creating my own kind of tab view setup here. But as of recording, as of this date, Flutterflow does not allow you to dynamically create tabs for a tab view. So you can't create additional tabs there. which it would be excellent if you could. We could do it with custom code, but we're not going to. We're going to keep this as much in Flutterflow as we can. But essentially, we want to utilize each page from the page view as an individual folder. So doing it with a tab view would just kind of simplify it, but can't do it that way. So we'll do it this way instead, and it'll work fine. I think I do want to bring that down a little bit more. I'll go ahead and go to 24. Kind of get off of that top bar a little bit. And I do want to bring the page view down from that second bar. So let's bring that down by 16. All right. Okay, so again, this is going to be our folders collection here. So guess let's start up here and get this knocked out real quick so we can kind of show you what I've got going on up here. Yeah. So I'm going to grab an icon button, and I'm going to change this to this white, so it's pretty much almost transparent white. Just going to give it a little bit of background. I'm going to change the border radius to 6, and I'm going to get rid of that blue, and we'll change the primary color for the icon to white so we can see it. And then I'm going to change this to a QR code emblem. Let's just do that. Okay. All right, and then over here we're going to put something on this side. So let's go ahead and drop another row inside the row so we can actually do two icon buttons next to each other. Actually, I'm just going to copy. I'll just duplicate it. That'll be easiest. Drop that in there. And duplicate it again. And then move that over by 6. And then this one, we're going to make this the button for the video chat. So I might use that one. Just use that for now. And then this one will be for adding friends. Okay. All right, so we got that part set up. And this kind of, if you've ever used GroupMe, this is kind of a similar setup to GroupMe. You probably recognize that. I'm also going to drop an image in here and shrink that way down. And pull it in here some. Oops. And I'm going to use that for just kind of a logo for the app. So I'll change that later. All right. Now this next bar down here is where we're going to actually drop our folder buttons in. I'm not going to use the actual button icon here, or the button widget. I'm going to use a container. Put it in there and make that smaller. Do it like that for now. Do the corners at 25. That should work. And then its child alignment we'll set to center, and we'll drop text in there. We're actually going to make the text white. I'll show you why. And for now, we're going to make this container this blue color. No, sorry. That's not what I want to do. I want to make it, I think it's that color that I want. It's that one. I don't think that's the one I wanted. Let's see, where's this one? Yeah, that's the one I want. Okay. So again, that's going to be our actual folder buttons here. We'll leave that the way it is for now as well. Okay, so we've got that set up. So let's go ahead and fill this out real quick. So in our page view, let's put a list view inside that page. And let's go ahead and create the, the structure for our individual chats here. So let's could use a container if I wanted to kind of keep it all contained together. Let's do that. Just do like that for now. Make that transparent. And I'm going to put a column in there and center it. Center. And then I'm going to put a row inside the column, and I'm going to put a divider inside the column under that row. And the divider, I'm going to make it that color. Yeah, it's kind of barely visible. All right, I'm going to grab this container and I'm going to bring it in, I think 12 and 12, probably be good. And now let's go fill this out a little bit. So let's put a picture for the chat. Do a round picture. Make that quite a bit smaller and probably do 35. Don't want it too big. And then let's do a column. Push that over by 8. Make sure it's over a line to the left. And we'll do some text here. Let's go and change that to white. And I just realized I forgot. I actually need a row inside that column first. So go ahead and put a row in there and then drop that text in that row. And then duplicate that text. And then highlight the row and duplicate that. And delete that text. You don't need that there. And then let's grab icon, put it over here, and go highlight your column and expand it. Takes up the full width here. Pushes your icon over to the right. Highlight the column and bring that back by 8 off of the icon. And then the icon is going to be, we're going to do circle. I'm going to choose the second one here. And make that, oops, 16. Okay, and then we'll just change the color to that blue for now. All right, now let's move this text over. Let's do 8. That'll work. And then let's make it 10 as far as the size goes. Make that 12, and we'll make this 12 as well. And then we're going to change the color of the smaller text, and let's make it maybe too dark. Let's make that a little brighter. All right, that'll work. Okay, now grab the container that's holding all of this, kind of shrink it in some here. And go, let's see, I'm going to grab a spacer, put it there. Let's see where our top of our column is already up there, so that's good. Okay, that should be good. All right, so let's highlight our list view, and then let's do item spacing, and we'll just do 8 for now. Okay, so we've got a good setup here. I do want to bring this down further though. Now I've got a better look at it, and I want to bring this down as well. got that set up. So, a couple of things that we're going to do then. Like I said, I'm going to kind of customize it and make it my own just a little bit. So when a user first joins, they're actually going to have two chats up here, chat folders that already exist. The first one is going to be all chats. And then the second one make sure you space these out, is going to be encrypted. Let's do E2E. All right. Actually going to shrink that in a little bit. I think I want this to be smaller. Yeah. So now we can see we move this over some. Okay. And then I'm going to drop another row in here. And we do want that one to be scrollable. And go ahead and expand it all the way to the end. So make it scrollable, expand it to the end. And then you can copy this and drop it into that row. And this will actually be the dynamically generated folders here. Which, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of. It just seems like it's going to be too crowded, these little folders over here. Let's do this. You can set this up however you want. You don't have to do it this way by any means. That'll be better. Okay. All right. So that's set up then. So these two chats again, or these two folders, will be available to the user immediately upon creating their account. Alright, so let's go ahead and finish. Let's go to the stack. We do need to add our search bar, or our navigation bar down here at the bottom. So let's go ahead to our stack and do a row and put its alignment down here at the bottom. And bring it in 1616, and then we will space. And then we're going to drop in some icons here. I'm going to make that transparent and that transparent, and then this will be white. Let's see. Okay, that should work. Might put a little space between them though. Okay. Alright, so we got that down there. That's good to go. And then last, we need chat creation buttons. So go back to our stack. We're not going to add, I don't think we're going to use their pre-created fab. floating action button. We'll just create our own. So go ahead and add a container in there. Make it round and set it to about 50 or so. 50 is pretty decent size. You can drag it down here. And this way you can kind of position it wherever you want as your floating action button. I'm just going to put it there for now. And then I'm going to do gradient color. Do that blue and then this darker blue. And set the angle to 55. And then I'll put the child alignment at center. Grab an icon and drop it in there. And set that as an add button or add icon. Make it black and up the size to 28. Okay. All right, cool. So we've got our main home page set up here. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy to set up. So let's go ahead and take care of a couple other things here that we need to do. So first, let's go ahead and set up our query for our folders, which will go right here. So we'll go here and do a backend query collection, and we will query folders. Let's see, it did not do a created by. So we're going to need that. Created by reference, be to our user. Now I can add our query. And created by is equal to our authenticated user. That way we only show the right thing. And then we're going to order by folder title is increasing. Now we do want to add some spacing between these items here. So let's do, since we're working with kind of a small space, let's do like 4. I think 4 would be good. Maybe 6. Yeah, that'll work. We'll do 6. Okay. Now, you do want to go ahead. Looks like I already got that. So you do want to make sure it's aligned to the left, the entire row here. All right. And then let's go down here to our page view. Let's go ahead and take care of that. So highlight the page view, do the backend query. We'll query collection, and that's also going to query the folders. And we're going to set the order by to the same. All right. All right, and then let's set our list view here. Make sure I set that correctly. Folder reference. Okay. So let's query. We're going to query our chats and filter where folder reference is equal to the folders document for the page view that we're currently looking at. So we'll grab the reference there. And then we're going to order our chats by recent update is decreasing. So anytime a new message is posted to a chat, that update date field will be updated to the most recent date, and that way I'll push the chat to the top of the list. Okay, so we'll leave it like that for now. All right. And let's go ahead and take care of this real quick. Our container kind of encompass the whole thing here. Now let's, actually before I do that, let's go ahead and, I didn't put a picture in there, did I? So we do need to add a chat photo. Make sure that when you're adding a path, a network path for a photo, image holder, something like that, that you set a default variable. Otherwise, you may either throw a null error, Flutterflow kind of gets messed up, or it'll just show like a grayed out image with an X through it. It's unsightly. You don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and set our path. We'll go to the chats document, and we will set that as the chat photo, and then as the default variable, we'll just paste that picture in there. And then here, we're going to set that as the chat title. And then this chat, and then we're going to do that as the recent update, date field, date time format, and then relative. So I wanted to abbreviate. All right. Now let's see here. We want to grab our container here. And there's a couple of ways we could go about doing this. Probably the most efficient way, instead of running a query across the entire chat messages sub-collection, it'd probably be better to do recent message reference. Since we're already when a new message is created, we're already adding an update to the chat that contains the message because we're updating the recent update field. Then it makes sense to just go ahead and add this reference field in here too. Again, we're thinking in terms of efficiency to cut down on costs, so this makes the most sense to do it this way. So recent message reference, document reference, we'll go to chat message. Now, go, just do it on the row if we want to, it doesn't really matter. And then we're going to do backend query, and we're going to do document from reference, and we're going to do chat messages, and then we're going to go to our chat document here, and we're going to select that recent message reference we just added. Now this text, we can fill that in as the most recent chat message. Choose the message text there. And then down here, see, I think I did, yeah, I set that as a row, so we do want to extend that out just to be on the safe side. And max characters allowed for that. Don't want it very long. You want it to be enough for them to kind of get a preview. So I'm going to do 32, and then I'll do the ... at the end there. All right, so that's good to go. Now, as far as this is concerned, a couple of ways we can set this up. What we want this to do is to be blue when there's a new message, or to be gray when there's not. So let's go over here. chat message. I'm going to do a scene by reference, document reference, and we'll set it to users and a list of our users. Alright, and so this icon that's blue, we're going to go down here and we're going to set its color as a variable, and we're going to do a conditional value if then else. Alright, so we're going to go to the first part and we're going to select the chat message document. We're going to go down here to the scene by list, and we're going to put list contains item, authenticated user, the user's reference, and we're going to actually set that to the opposite. So basically this conditional if then else is this part of it is saying if the list does not contain the authenticated user, then set the color to the blue. Otherwise, set it to let's just do this gray, and then the default variable value will set to gray. Okay, so I'll indicate whether it's a new message or not, or rather whether the user has seen the message. Not so much if it's a new message, but if the user has actually opened the chat and read the message. Okay, so that's all set up. We're gonna finish out what we're doing here before we start building the actual chat, which this will take them to that when they click on it, obviously. So let's go ahead and select our container. It contains the chat, and just drop some actions in here as reference points. So we'll have an action on tap to take them to the message, but we'll also have an action in here on long press to delete the chat or to leave the chat, depending on whether the user is a member of the chat or the user is the owner of the chat, so on and so forth. Okay, so we'll leave that alone for now. All right. Okay, so this tutorial, we're running on 42 minutes already, so that actually took a little longer to do than I thought it would. So I'm going to stop it here. I'm not going to drag on too terribly long. I want to try and get this sucker uploaded tonight, and I need to go to bed for a little bit. But we'll come back at it. We'll work on associating our folder title folder buttons there at the top with our opened page view, and of course setting up our create button down there, whether we want to create a chat or create a new end-to-end message or create a folder. So we'll work on that as well. And then we'll take a look at setting up the actual setting the chat itself, the custom chat, which again is super simple to make, but it just awards you the ability to customize it a little bit more, make it a little bit more your own rather than using what Flutterflow has available. All right, so that's it for this one for now. Links are in the description. If you again, appreciate what I do, you can donate to buying me a coffee. You can join us over on the Technesis Discord server, where you can ask questions, get help with any issues that you may have, including issues with this tutorial, if you have any questions for that. My username for Telegram is in the description as well. I will reiterate again, I do not have WhatsApp. I will not be getting WhatsApp. Please stop asking me if I have WhatsApp. I'm not going to get it. So you know, it's just not going to happen. If that's the only thing you use, then I guess just send a comment on YouTube. But yeah, I'm not going to get WhatsApp. So and what was the other thing I was going to say? Yeah. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I am working on a kind of a bigger project that's going to be made available pretty soon. I think initially I'm going to kind of open it up to a limited number of people. Anybody will have the opportunity to kind of be the guinea pig for that if you want to. Totally free. But basically what you'll get is a bunch of API endpoints, your own API key. You'll be able to connect your apps to those APIs and really make your apps kind of shine in a way that they probably don't currently, because you'll get access to some more complex algorithms to kind of handle a lot of things that Flutterflow is lacking, that you may not know how to access elsewhere, or that might be cost prohibitive for you. So that'll be coming soon. And working on a couple other things for Flutterflow makers, developers, that I think will be beneficial to everyone. Might even make you some money. Depends on how much effort you want to put into it. So, all right, that's it for tonight. I need to get some sleep. Hope you have a wonderful evening.